This is Jeff Tamburello with the Southwest Florida RIA, here to talk to you about the September 2012 Lee County, Florida Foreclosure Trend Report. Trend at a glance, we had 567 in September. The previous month we had 756. Last 2 years were 570 and 953. If you remember in August, everybody launched, particularly off some realty track reports, that the world was coming to an end, and well, by God, it didn't. So generally, when you have a big peak, the next month shows up lower. I've found pretty much throughout this entire trend. Trends at a glance for certificates of title. We had 517 deeds out of the clerk of court, or from the clerk of court last month. Previous August was 451, 442 and 1505 for the same month previous years. Deeds transferred. We've had the last 3 months we've had a jump up. If it continues, what you can draw from that, or at least what I'm going to draw from that, is that they seem to be figuring out how to get things done post rocket docket. Total list pendants called the mortgage foreclosures. You've got the really sharp run up, which last month the media was trying to compare these two bumps to being this again, when if you go back through here and look, every time there's been a jump up it goes down, particularly the last 3 times we had a jump up. From the peak going forward, there is a second wave. I'm calling it a second bump in here, but you would have to take these foreclosures and take the principal balances. There's been some large principal balance foreclosures in here, both residentially and commercial, in this part, particularly in here. This is what a guy in the RIA refers to as the dolphin chart, but this is the list pendants and the certificates of title on the same chart. And really what the take from this, when the pink is over the blue, we're processing more than we're taking in, which it's ebbed and flowed. We're starting to get to the point where those two are about to touch again. Top 10 list pendants filers. BOA's been driving this thing for a while. Wells, then JPM. JPM was number 2 last month. They're starting to fade off a little bit. Certificates of title, Fannie Mae got the lion's share. The next closest guy was 3% versus 13%, and there's another Fannie Mae, just a colloquial Fannie Mae also got another 7 deeds. So Fannie Mae roughly got 15%, everybody else is 3, 2, 1. So the REO market's kind of dispersed out. REO inventory from public records, everybody was up slightly. Fannie Mae sitting on 590 deeded to them. What I find ironic is everybody seems to think that they're holding back, and the only thing they could be holding back would be notes they're not foreclosing on, because it's pretty easy to track once the deeds hit public records. REO inventory from the MLS. When I did it this morning, we had 359. Last month we had 331. Pending 357 to 389 last month. Last October we sold 408 REOs. Notes. The top 10 list pendants filers, which are the national lending entities, represent 63.67% of the filings. Fannie Mae is going to be the driver of the REO market for some time to come. BOA is number 1 in foreclosure filings. We already covered this. Since January 1 of 2006, and this is for perspective, 83,969 mortgage-related foreclosures. 114 through the end of 07, we sold 47,000 properties through the MLS. Now double that number. That should include the off-market and the refis. Now bear in mind, 04 and 05, at least 15% of the sales were cash. So there's a lot of modalities, and if a couple of us took a couple of weeks off, we could probably pin this number down perfectly, but by that time we will have missed the recovery that's happening. But we've pretty much given back a good chunk of what there was. There is some more to come, but you really have to put it into perspective that you're staring at the tail end of the monster, not the front shoulders, which was what 09 was. Few things to watch. I'm waiting for when BOA starts to subside. And do we have a surge in filings in December? And are we going to continue to have month-over-month and year-over-year reductions? Because for about the last 8 months, we've had a year-over-year increase because we were going against robo-signing numbers. And certificate of titles the last 3 months are on the rise. If the list pendant numbers keep going down and those rise, we should reduce the backlog pretty quickly. I'd like to talk about a great event we've got coming up this Thursday. It's our Lee County Luncheon. It's going to be held at a new location. We are pretty much doing our luncheon at a new location each month. We're going to be at Christoph's on McGregor. That's 10 231 McGregor Boulevard. It's just a little bit south of Colonial, near the Broadway Palm area. Right there, it's the newer restaurant that was just built on McGregor. Basically, from 11:15 to 1, we're gonna have a meeting. From 11:15 to noon, we like to have people come in just for lunch and networking. Somewhere around 12, we generally start the meeting. This topic is going to be what's going on at Fort Myers Beach. Walter Flugel, who's the Community Development Director of Fort Myers Beach, is going to give us an update. I spoke with Walter, and he's telling me there's a lot of tear downs. They're tearing down old houses and building newer, bigger, nicer ones. The beach has a lot of activity, and the beach is somewhere you watch, because the last cycle, the beach kind of was one of the ones to really watch as far as setting it off. So, that's Thursday, October the 4th. That's this coming Thursday if you're watching this at the time the video comes out. For members, it's your cost only. For non-members, it's $5 plus plus the cost only. If you have questions or you'd like to RSVP, feel free to email me, jeff@swflreia.com. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope